Hey, paper lovers. I am so excited today to be introducing you to the newest insert coming to the Lights Planner Action website. It is the Bess Daily Mental Health Journal. And this is something that I have been working on for a really long time. I have put a lot of my own experience into it, and I really think it's going to be something that's going to be helpful for you in your daily habits. So, I am going to be walking you through the Coil version of this insert, but you can also get it as an individual insert, both in white and blackout options. If you opt to get the individual insert, it's just going to be the daily pages only, and it's a 40-page insert including cover, which means you get 38 pages of daily practice. But let's dive into the full-blown notebook version of this planner, because I'm going to keep calling it a planner even though it's just a notebook. It's just a journal. My brain is just always wired to talk about planners. So I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a phenomenal practice for you. It's a 100-day daily journaling practice. And the cover on here has this wonderful quote from The Greatest Showman with this beautiful floral pattern, but you can always customize the coil cover to your own liking. When you get into this planner, there is a little message from me to you on how I had intended for this to work for you, but of course you can always make any planner or any insert or any journal work for you, not the other way around. So be sure to tweak it and make it work however is going to be best for you. I want to start with the daily pages of this, just so we can get into the why of why I think this insert is so important to add to your repertoire. So I have been on a therapy path, a path towards healing, trying to improve my inner voice and how I talk to myself. And this journal has really been helpful in that journey. So this is a prompted journaling practice that I started about 4 months ago, and I honestly have felt such a huge shift in the way I talk to myself, in the way I'm perceiving situations, and I really think it can be helpful for anyone that is looking to get more in control of their thoughts and kind of put your hands back on the wheel and start living off of autopilot, because so often we're going through our days on autopilot. So every single day you're going to sit down with your journal and you're going to start by thinking about some things that you are proud of. So if you think about it, growing up, we are constantly showered with praise and words of affirmation as we hit milestones, as we graduate, as we do these different achievements and have different hobbies. They're just constantly praising us. And then we become adults and you lose that almost entirely. There's very few opportunities for grown-ups to be told that someone is proud of them. So you're going to gas yourself up. I want you to think about things that are really hard for you to do and start putting them down as things that you are proud of getting done. So for example, for me, I have a really hard time making phone calls. I just get very clammy and it gives me anxiety. If I make a phone call and schedule a dentist appointment, I'm proud of that. I'm going to put that down as something that I'm proud of. If I have a conversation with my husband and I stay really engaged in it and I don't zone out or tune out, I'm going to write that down because that's hard for me to do. A lot of times my brain wanders. So if I can keep it grounded in the conversation, I'm really proud of that. So you're going to go through and write down these things that you are proud of. And all of a sudden, you're going to start feeling the reward of saying, hey, I did the hard thing and I'm glad that I did it. It's going to start rewiring your brain to take on more of these hard opportunities, because you're going to know that internally you are proud of the results that you're seeing. So what we're taking advantage of here right now is this thing that your brain has called neuroplasticity. And that means that you can train your brain over and over and over again. So you're never stuck in one mindset. You can always shift your mindset, which is a beautiful thing. So start writing down what you're proud of, and instantly you will see how much easier doing those hard tasks becomes. Next up, you're going to reflect on some things that you are grateful for. And, here's the thing. Gratitude it's widely studied. Everyone knows that gratitude journaling has a propensity to reduce stress. It can make sleeping easier. There's tons of research that says gratitude journaling is a really good thing. But I'm going to explain to you just real quickly why it works for me. Because the world is pretty dark sometimes. And it can be very easy to fall into this trap where you're only seeing the negative, where you're only focused on the bad news, where all of a sudden, your brain is just always looking for threats. Your brain wants to keep you safe. So you're going to start picking up on all the things that you're perceiving as threats or stress inducing, and you're going to feel like the world is very negative. But if you flip that script, if you start asking yourself, okay, yeah, there were some negative things, but like what made me smile today? Was it a really good cup of coffee? Was it cuddling with your dog? Was it the feeling that you got after going to the gym? Whatever it is, write down some things that you are grateful for. And a little hack is that if your day was just absolute garbage and you can't think of a single thing to be grateful for, I like to look a little forward and say, what tomorrow am I excited for? And I'll put down that I am grateful for the chance to have more exciting times tomorrow. So even if you're not having a great day, you can always make this grateful box useful to you. Once you've filled out these two sections, I actually suggest skipping the last one for now and coming over to this big long box here. Here's where I intended for you to write a letter to yourself. Now note, there's no direction for what you can do in this box, which means I want you to make this journaling practice for you. If that feels hokey, it doesn't feel right, find something else that does feel good. Maybe you could do a tarot card pull. Perhaps you could write down some daily affirmations or a new practice that you're trying. You can use it for notes. Use it however you want. But the way I have been using it for the last 4 months is I am actually writing a letter to myself in this space. And I'm saying, "Dear me, hey girl, hey." And then I am taking whatever is stressing me about the day, whatever problems I'm having, I'm putting them down on paper and I am comforting myself as if I was talking to a friend. So for me, one of the things that I struggle with a lot due to some of my history is I have a big abandonment wound from just childhood. And so when things trigger that wound, when things bother me throughout the day, whether it's my spouse doing something that makes me feel like I'm being abandoned, or the way a friend responds to a text message or something that's like stressing me out, I'm able to come to this space and write a letter to myself and say, "Hey girl, hey, just because your spouse didn't want to watch TV on the couch with you tonight doesn't mean that they don't love you. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. It just means that they wanted to spend time with themselves, and that's okay. They're allowed to do that. Hey, you are worthy. You are loved." I'm saying all of these things to myself in this space here, and I'm allowing myself to comfort myself, not necessarily by solving my problems, but sometimes just being a good sounding board and listening and acknowledging the feelings that are there. And then usually once I have written my letter to myself, it will become clear whatever it is that I need to work on for the week. So I will write one thing in the working on section, and that will be a focus going forward. And what's cool, again, about the neuroplasticity, about the way that you can retrain your brain, is that by writing down what you want to work on, even if you don't actively work on it, your brain is going to find opportunities for you to practice it because you wrote it down and your brain pays attention to what you write down. Again, there is science to back all these things. That's why this journaling practice works, is because your brain wants to have you take some control. It's okay giving you the wheel every now and then. And this will really put you in control of your thoughts and the way you are speaking to yourself. If all of a sudden you are writing down what you're proud of and what you're grateful for every day, I promise you, when you look in the mirror, you're going to start talking nicer to yourself. Your internal monologue is going to start being a nicer person to you. And what a beautiful gift you can give yourself through a daily journaling practice. So that's the daily pages. This planner, again, journal, because it is a 100-day journal, I did include some prompted sections in the front. I think if you fill out the affirmations, the things you can be proud of, the things that you need, the things you desire, if you fill in things you want to explore, if you fill in all of these sections, when you are greeted with an empty page, if you don't know what to write or you don't have a starting point, you can refer back to these sections and it makes filling in your journal easier. So that's why they're at the front of the booklet. There is also every 10 days you get a dot grid spacer, and that is to kind of let you know it's a milestone. Every 10 days I think is worth celebrating and maybe reflecting on. Maybe you flip back through those pages and see if there's any reoccurring themes that you want to dive deeper on. So every 10 pages, you get a dot grid spacer. At the 50-day mark, you get a little word of congratulations, as well as a prompt to look back on your pages and note down what are your reoccurring themes and what are you learning about yourself through this journaling practice. So you get this reflection page at the 50-day mark. You also get another one at the 100-day mark, and that is the journal itself. Again, it's 100 days of journaling. It's not dated because I wanted you to be comfortable picking this up and putting it down and then picking it back up again. Because a lot of times what happens is we think to create a habit, we have to do it every single day. And when we miss a day, we start to beat ourselves up about it. This journal doesn't care if you miss a day. As long as you come back to it eventually, you're going to feel good about achieving those 10 days, those 50 days. And then if you can fill out the whole book, holy cow, how phenomenal it will feel to say, like, yeah, I got in touch with myself for 100 days. And what a profound difference in how well I know myself and how much I'm listening to myself. So I really think this journaling practice is something that anyone can benefit from. I tried to make it as open-ended as possible so that you could tweak it to your own needs, but I would suggest at least starting with the way I have suggested, and if it doesn't work for you, then you can always adjust as you go. So that is the Bess Mental Health Journal. I'm super excited about it. Again, it does come in a variety of sizes, and if you would like to get it on an insert format, you can get it in white version or on the blackout pages when blackout planners are available, which as always is the first full week of every month. And it is available in the white ink, the gold ink, and the silver ink. So feel free to pick the one that best speaks to your soul. I hope you love it. I can't wait to see how this daily routine changes your lives. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments.